Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino here on a busy Wednesday afternoon, 3-hour show coming up today on the program. We have the great Sean McDonough in 30 minutes on the NHL playoffs. He has called a bunch of these games on ESPN, and he saw two of the teams in action in the Eastern Conference, one of which obviously is playing tonight. We have Mike Palm on the show, the Maestro in studio, coming up in the second hour. No Jeff Seeley today, unfortunately. He is off his third winner in the last 7 weeks on the PGA Tour. He's tied up today. Wes Reynolds will join us a little bit later on for best bets at the Truist Championship this week. And Paulie, good to see you again, pal, out for the last couple of days. Great to be back. Quite the news that we had today. Unfortunately, I'd like to say, can you believe it? Oh my God, Joel Embiid's out. But unfortunately, we kind of can. This kid is so unlucky. It just sucks.
I said it yesterday while you were out that I couldn't believe in game one. They mentioned it, and I tweeted it. He hadn't played 6 games in a row since 2023. So then even if he comes back, he's probably going to at some point miss another game too. And this would have been the 6th game in a row. So it's why it's the worst contract in the NBA. He's only going to give you 40 games, and then what can he give you in the playoffs? It's the ankle and the hip, and now the line's up to 10.5. And we've seen this many times, though, certainly regular season, where the team comes out and doesn't respect their opponent because the key guy's out. Next thing you know, we got a ball game in the fourth quarter.
It happens all the time in this sport. The Knicks are going to be on red alert tonight, though, without this guy. Now, the point spread, it was hovering around that 7.5, got to 8 before the news at some books today. And then as soon as that happened, they were wiped out across the screen and they ballooned up to 10.5. Would you say that that's probably a fair movement here with him? I'll call it a 2.5 or a 3-point move.
Yeah. Well, it's also desperation for Philly, too. It's going to be hard to get out of this. Normally, I would love the Sixers here, but the Knicks are kicking ass and taking names.
They really are.
These last 4 games have been fantastic. I'm even stronger on the Cat assist tonight because he won't be in foul trouble. And that, just put that in your app and thank me tomorrow. Get that ticket with Cat assists. But it's like Dustin said, and it's like every time Knick fans are feeling good, and this is the time we're going to the finals for the first time since '99, there's a pothole and there's a problem. So it'd be typical Knicks that they would let the Sixers back in this series because they should win, and they should win this series because they've been so good, and Brown making the adjustments, and you see how many guys can score, and when Bridges is knocking down shots and Brunson's been awesome, they got to win this game and then make Philly beat them 4 out of 5.
Okay, so I went back and looked this year. Again, this is going to be a very small sample size. It would be in the regular season anyway if Embiid played in all 4 of their contests, which he did not do. He missed 2 of those. And the exact dates, the first game he missed was December 19th. That was in New York. Philly actually won that game, 116-107. Maxey was awesome. He had 30. I would expect him to have a bounce-back game tonight. Edgecombe had 23. Here's one guy I'd like to keep have everybody keep their eyes on tonight. It would be Andre Drummond. Without Embiid, he can be a rebounding machine.
He could be in foul trouble, though.
Well, but in that game in December, he had 14 points, 13 rebounds. If you want to look at rebounds tonight, maybe even a double-double. But also for the Knicks, Towns had 21 and 11, and Mitchell Robinson had 21 and 16 in that game. And Philadelphia won that, remember. Then Embiid, he played in 2 other games. He was really good. But the last time in the regular season that these 2 teams played, it was all the way back on February 11th. Embiid missed that game. The Knicks got him big, 138-89. Towns had 21, 11, and 5. To your point, 4.5 assists tonight has been plus money over that all day long. And Robinson in that game had 11 and 6. So Cat's the obvious guy. But the fringe players, Robinson had 2 big games without Embiid.
Yeah.
And then Drummond would be the rebounding aspect. Over 8.5 tonight. It's a pretty good. Unless, like you said, if he's in foul trouble, then forget about it.
I'm still on my guy, Paul George. And as Brian Mahoney said Monday, you're surprised when he misses. Now, with the Embiid news, he's up to 18.5 with the points. 15 was the sweet spot. He's hit that and gone over 16 of the last 19. He's 2.5 made threes. He's gone over that 6 in a row. And he's made at least 2 7 in a row. I also think the attempts will be there as well. So it's a big adjustment. Now we're up to 18.5 with the points. But I think George is in for a big game, and they have to have him tonight as well, and especially the threes that'll be there because the attempts have been strong, and I think the guy will knock down at least 3 threes tonight.
I mean, tip of the cap to that guy. He's been really good. And I think maybe the best thing that happened to him was that suspension.
Yes, it was.
So
Fresh.
Now, in game one, the Knicks were absolutely I mean, guys, they shot 63% from the floor and 51.5% from downtown. And Maxey did absolutely nothing. And in the playoffs, the Knicks have the second best offensive rating and the second best defensive rating. So another way to maybe, I would agree with you, by the way. If Embiid wasn't missing this game, I would love the Sixers to bounce back and get an unbelievable effort. And oh, by the way, keep in mind, in game one against Boston, they got absolutely throttled and they bounced back.
Yeah.
They won the next game and they also won the series.
Yeah, they punted on game one. They
Yeah.
didn't have their legs. There was horrible transition defense. And like Nurse said, who cares if you lose by 1 or 30? He pulled people. Yeah.
So with that in mind, and how good this Knicks team has been offensively, what about a team total look here for the Knicks? It's 111.5 or 112.5 in the game tonight.
I'm just, I know, can you keep this up, though? Do you want to ride the streak, or is it sky is falling? You know, and I like to talk to the fans and listen to the fans. And I always fear this with a Minnesota team. But just like, you know, like Godfather. It's when you think I was out, they pull me back in. So 1999, you can see it right there. I mean, they should go to the finals. They have the best team. They have so many weapons. They're awesome defensively. The bench has they have a huge edge in bench points here and bench guys as well. But I would take the 10.5, but I don't know about the team total. That's the other thing. They're so good, they blow people out and they're sitting people. I mean, that's what you have to worry about with the Knicks game too with props. That they're so good and they sit guys because they're up 20.
I just can't get over they've won the last 4 games by 135 combined points.
Yes.
First team ever to win 3 straight playoff games by 25 plus.
Yeah.
They're absolutely a machine right now offensively. And if you go just based on recent numbers compared to like full season stuff, I think the 111.5 they breeze by that number. But this is, again, Phillies, I'm not going to call like their season on the line, but this is an absolutely humongous spot.
Yeah.
And I think Maxey's going to be in store for a good game tonight as well.
I think he bounces back. Well, the other thing too is you're looking at like not exactly a home game when you go to Philly either. How Knick fans take over that arena.
Can you believe that was one of the first things Embiid talked about?
Yeah.
After they won in Boston in Game 7?
Yeah.
Well,
it's a problem.
Yeah. Clearly, it doesn't sit well with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just unfortunate for that guy, though, man. And that whole city.
He's had bad breaks.
Yeah, I know. Did you see the Hinkie tweet, by the way, as soon as they beat Boston? He sends out the meme, and it's just, it had like 6,000 retweets within like 30 minutes. And I'm like, there, finally, they got one here. And then the Embiid news comes out after game. God, Lee, they can't catch a break.
I was going to recommend a future on them 80-1 before this news. Because you looking at like, you throw out game 1 just because of the short turnaround and the emotional toll it took beating Boston in the comeback and the short turnaround. There's not a big difference between these teams. And to think if they could survive the Knicks and you're only one injury away from the whole season blowing up, and we see so many key injuries and guys getting hurt late in the year, that I didn't think 80-1 was outrageous. Now it's 100, and the adjusted series price is $750. But I think this is you can make a case for all 4 teams in the East when healthy that they can come out of here.
How did you play the Karl Anthony Towns assist prop tonight? Just over 4.5?
I went up to 9 again.
You laddered up to 9?
I went up to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like money's coming in, by the way, in the Drummond rebound prop. Before the show started, he was over 8.5, around plus 120. Now it's around even money. So cat's out of the bag on that one as well. We're going to get to Spurs and Wolves here coming up in about 5 minutes. Is there an angle, is there a path for any team to beat Oklahoma City, or are we all just wasting our time? Thinking about it, talking about it, and we should just be pounding Oklahoma City every single day and adding more to the account.
The Spurs can beat them.
Is that the only team? I think that's the only team.
Could the Knicks beat them?
I don't think so. I don't think any team from the East can beat the Thunder.
You got to play the math game and shoot a ton of threes, and they have to go in.
Boston would have had the best chance then?
Yeah, I still think the Knicks could have a chance. We got to see what happens with Williams.
I think if the Spurs played the Knicks in the NBA Finals, I think that would be. I think the Spurs would be favored to the point of where you could only bet the Knicks.
Minus 175 to win the title. I said yesterday it would be the biggest upset in NBA history. It's just the series price. How can the Lakers have better odds to win this series than the Bills to win the Super Bowl. That's crazy. I mean, you don't have your best player 34 points a game. They're still careless with the ball. They can't rebound. It's an indictment of Houston, and you're going against the big bad champs who are the number one offense, and SGA doesn't even play well, get to the line, and they still have no problems.
I'll give you another one. How, and this is before I was off the air yesterday and Monday, but before the series started, looking at it and talking about it, what was the path for, if nobody got hurt for Oklahoma City, if everybody was healthy, what's the path for the series to even go to 6 games?
Yes, right.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even come up with one.
I said that to you last week. DraftKings put up total games 5.5 minus 190, 180. And the series price was $9.
Yeah.
Then it got to 4,000, and it still stayed 5.5 under 280. I mean, there isn't a path.
No, there is no path.
Someone has to get hurt.
Yeah, we saw, to your point, yeah. Yep. SGA went to the free throw line 3 times last night.
Yeah, well,
that's it.
Well, Austin Reeves just rusty and doesn't have it. That's bad. That's 2. He's been back 3 games. It's 2 absolute stinkers. So good luck with that.
Well, look at Jalen Williams out. AJ Mitchell comes in 18 again last night.
Yeah.
The talent is limitless on this team. The depth is insane.
Yeah. Are the Spurs going to be there though? That's the thing.
I have no idea.
Sometimes they look great and they had OKC's number, but other times it's like they fall in love with 3, they don't get aggressive, and they have lapses, and we're down 0-1.
Yep, we're going to pivot to that game and others on the betting board for tonight. I'll give you an angle that's 19-3 straight up since 2021 next year on VSiN.
Let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that almost feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit's due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles. And when there's a good game on, you're getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. There's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSiN Pro. I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on the annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSiN Pro. All right, back to the show.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
So the opening number right after the game on Monday night was San Antonio, and a couple of books, including DraftKings, opened up the Spurs 10.5. And then that was immediately bet down to 9.5. Circa opened up 9. That was the very first number that I saw here. And I thought, I wonder which way this is going to go. Because I wanted to take Minnesota in the game, but I missed the 10.5. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just have to settle for the 9. Game day, money on San Antonio. Can somebody explain this one to me?
Yes. Must win. Minnesota has a history of, we're good. We got this split. Let's go back home.
But 10.5?
Blown out.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's a huge number.
Well, they're not going to shoot like that from 3 again. I don't think. And maybe Ant shows some effects of the injury now with the short turnaround.
Ayo's back tonight, too.
I know.
Didn't even have
big.
him.
That's big. Yep. And the other thing, too, in your favor here, if you want to take the points, is I think it was Tim Legler who made the point of maybe this hurts San Antonio because Wemby looks up to Gobert as like a mentor and a friend, and that could take away from the killer instinct and aggressiveness. Maybe. That's an interesting angle. In any event, you can't go 0 of 8 from 3, and what Fox did. You know, I've had it with this guy. You were an unbelievable player in Sacramento. You got the max deal. You got to play like it. And for those guys to go a combined 0 of 13 from 3, but that's been the story with Minnesota. They held Denver to 30% from 3, and the Spurs were 42% in the Portland series, and they were dog bleep in game 1. Still, though, everything went against them in terms of how bad they played, the threes. Wemby's offensive game wasn't there. Conley had an unbelievable game, old man, and they still had a great look and a chance to win the game.
I can't get there with this number. San Antonio is not 11 points better than Minnesota. They're just not. Minnesota, again, the disrespect for this team.
They could be.
On any given night, sure they could be. But I had to grab 10.5. I put it up on the VSiN Picks page earlier today. Here's an angle to look at tonight. The Spurs off of an outright loss this season. 17-5 straight up, 15-7 ATS. And since December 1st, 14-3 straight up, 12-5 ATS. They've won and covered 9 straight off of a loss. They're the first team to win and cover 9 straight off of a loss in 2 years. There's also this angle. First quarter. Home favorites losing game 1 since 2021. How do they bounce back in game 2? In the first quarter, 19-3 straight up, 14-8 ATS. They're laying 3.5 tonight in the first quarter.
I saw Joe Osborne gave out Knicks first quarter again. They've cashed every game but one. And it's a short number first quarter if you want to do that. The other thing, like Geltzeiler told us yesterday, they're still going to go right at Wemby.
Well, I love. Sorry, go ahead.
So how high you want to go here? I'm not saying he's going to get 12 again, but I mean, if you want to ladder blocks, you want to talk about a nice payday.
I mean, it's like even money or some plus money on over 4.5 for Wemby tonight.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Shannon's going to get as much run in the game tonight because obviously DeSumo is going to be back, so that'll cut into his minutes. But when immediately Shannon's asked about it after the game, he goes, "I'm going to keep playing downhill." And I told Wemby that. And he goes, he blocked a couple of my shots, and I told him flat out, you need to block every single one of mine. Otherwise, I'm going at him the entire time. And that's, again, I don't know if Shannon's going to get that much playing time tonight in the game, but maybe that's the entire attitude of the entire team. But it wasn't just that when guys were attacking the rim. It's just like Wemby's recovery time. He blocked a couple of shots the other night with both hands. Like he swatted it with the left hand and then came back and got it again with the right hand in case he missed it. And if Ant can get a step on him, no problem. Here I come because I'm 11 feet with the wingspan, and bam, I swat it right out of bounds. No problem. So how about this? You can bet this at MGM and I think some other books. The player to have the first block of the game.
Oh, nice.
Wemby is plus 290.
Okay. Good find.
That's kind of juicy in it's interesting anyway to maybe consider.
Yeah.
The Opta AI stats at vsin.com, they are all in on DeSumo tonight. The biggest edges across the board are the top 5 overall are on this guy. PRA, number 1, 18 plus at minus 104. They project 24.31. That's a 41.2% edge according to the Opta AI. That's one of the biggest edges I've seen since we've been tag teaming with them. But they like PRA, the points and assists, the points, everything across the board. Even 3-pointers made. 2 plus plus 127. They are projecting 2.32 makes out of that guy tonight. And I'll give you another thing from in-play betting. We've seen it the last couple of nights. Now, it did not get there last night with the Pistons against the Cavaliers, but the Pistons, it was near the end of the third quarter and early fourth quarter when they had a sizable lead, and the Cavaliers were still around 3-1 to come back and win the game. They tied it up.
Yeah.
They didn't win the game, but this, in game 1, with just under 9 minutes to play, they went to a commercial break. And this thing was back and forth the entire time. San Antonio was up 84-81. And because they were such big favorites in the game, Minnesota was still 3-1 to come back and win. They're one shot away from tying the game with 9 minutes to go. I don't think the algorithms are adjusting enough for games that are this tight overall.
Yeah. The other thing, if you talk to Weston, what do you want to do with old man Conley? Now, is he going to score 12 again? He had 4
No.
He got great looks. That also, I don't think it's going to happen again, but that's what frustrated me about game 1. You know, he's like Walter and Lebowski. He's a veteran. You can't leave him wide open. And he had 4 threes and cashed that huge ticket and led everyone. He's 6-1 to score 10 or more. He's plus 540 to hit 3 threes.
Plus 5-4. So what is his number?
They left him wide open on those looks.
Oh, my goodness. So he's obviously a really nice plus price to hit 2 threes in the game then. If 3 plus is plus 540, I think you got to bet.
Plus 180.
Oh, you got, okay,
but
that's probably
there's an
worth
over, at Caesars, you can bet over 1.5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I thought that was ridiculous. It's like, the guy's in the league a long time. It's the NBA. You can't leave a guy wide open from 3 like that.
I would agree.
He made you pay.
Yeah. Oh, those numbers are...
those are big numbers.
Plus 540 on 3 plus is just like, okay, if you lose, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
That's such a big number anyway.
See how much run he gets too. But those big boys cashed in game one. Absolutely.
Now, you're right. Good point about Fox, by the way. Typically, and that place was juiced up the other night. It was a great home atmosphere, despite the loss. That's when you're going to get, you want the others to, or you expect others to have their biggest games when they're at home. And I thought the others for Minnesota completely outshined the others for San Antonio in game one.
Yeah, sometimes it sucks. Everyone wants OKC San Antonio, and maybe we don't get it in the Spurs. You know, you have to taste your own blood sometimes. And I like that phrase. And it'd be unfortunate if they lost, but this is a real team and a great story with the T-Wolves. So many guys down, it doesn't matter that they can do this.
I really wonder how much playoff experience factors into something like this. Zach Cohen at VSiN.com was making a case for McDanielson IPRA, which is 21.5. 32 in game 7 against Denver, 16 in game 1. Plus, he's going to contribute on the glass and probably a couple of assists as well. Yeah, that kid can score. Mid-range is awesome.
All right. And the great Sean McDonough's coming up. How about this series tonight with Montreal and Buffalo? How good is this? I'd say you can go under 6.5 with the alt. The change with Lyon, putting them there in net. There's been a big turnaround for Buffalo. You got to be concerned about the power play. 1 for the last 45 since April 1st, and 3 shorthanded goals allowed. But there's not much here to choose from. 2-2 head-to-head regular season, 13 goals apiece, and then same amount of power play goals. So it's going to be a tough series, and I know it's all of Canada's rooting against Montreal. That's great what Golden Muzzy said yesterday. But it'd be fantastic if Buffalo can get it done. And Canada's down to their last hope with Montreal. Great series, likely to play Carolina to go to the Cup. But I think it could be a low-scoring series as well.
Well, explain that to me because I missed that comment from him. What do you say about Montreal?
Canadians,
they hate the city.
Yeah, they don't want to cheer from Montreal. Dustin said it's because people from Montreal don't think they're Canadians. But it's like they're not. Sorry, look, and the drought, right? 93?
Sure. The entire rest of the country doesn't care?
Golden Muzzy's from Montreal. He hates them.
Insufferable fan base?
Yeah. He said Buffalo's Canada's team.
Oh, come on.
It was hilarious. I don't know how true that is, but that's wild. And you saw what they're doing at Niagara Falls, too.
That's a good look.
With what they're doing. Yes.
So, by the way, I wanted to play over 5.5 games in the series. You see the juice on that?
How significant?
Oh, minimum $2.
It should be a long series. I know John Davis has each team in 6 and 7. He also pointed out, when you win a game 7 on the road, you then turn around and win game 1. That's happened 6 straight times. That shocked me. And that says play Montreal tonight.
Well, that's also...
That's hard to believe.
This goes back in that same angle since 2007 on the puck line. When you're on the road, like Montreal is tonight, they're 22-10.
Yeah.
And the plus 1.5 cash in every single game that they played against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So plus 1.5 tonight's higher than $2 as well for Montreal. But
yeah, well, they got to. I mean, they went 3-0 on the road and outscored Boston 13-3. Montreal went 3-1 on the road, won a game 7, then have a shot on goal in the second period. So for Buffalo to go 1-2 at home and 3-0 on the road, come on, that's a great atmosphere. You got to start winning home games, Buffalo.
The great Sean McDonough joins the program coming up next. He called Game 6, the clincher for the Sabres in Round 1. How does he see Game 1 and the series between them and the Canadians unfolding? We'll ask him next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Hockey playoffs have been amazing yet again this year. What's new? Sky is blue, water is wet. And right now, the great Sean McDonough joins the program on the Progressive Guest Line. He's been calling a bunch of these games for ESPN. He's going to be on Game 3 on Sunday in Montreal between the Canadiens and the Sabres. Sean, pleasure. Thanks so much for the time today. How are you?
It's always good to be with you, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Doing really well.
Good, sir.
Before we get into the series that's beginning tonight, I want to ask you what we watched again last night, because the Minnesota Wild, they're a really good hockey team, as we all know. I may be the second best in the entire sport, but it has not gone well for that team in the first 2 games against Colorado. Is this thing going to turn into the Avalanche Invitational?
It might. Obviously it looks like Minnesota's really up against it. Maybe getting back home will help. I think they did not benefit certainly from, coming through a hard series against Dallas and then having to turn right around and play Colorado when Colorado was sitting there waiting for them. So, maybe they'll be a little more ready to go on home ice in Game 3. I think they probably made a mistake making the goalie change last night too. Although I certainly understand why they did it, and I do think John Hines is one of the best coaches in the league. So it's scary. Carolina on the other side looks pretty scary too.
Yes.
I mean, they're not scoring the number of goals that Colorado is. They don't have that kind of firepower, but they're pretty much dominating the play in much the same way.
Well, how much do you think, because we talk about this all the time, it doesn't matter the sport. I think we might be seeing it right now in the NBA with the Timberwolves against the Spurs, because Minnesota's been there the last 2 years and they have playoff experience. When you look at the Eastern Conference right now, you talk about a Carolina team that makes a run in the playoffs almost every single year, and the other 3 teams still in it while they're taking on the Flyers with basically no playoff experience, and the other 2 teams are playing tonight. So how much do you think that's going to factor in here?
Yeah, Carolina definitely has the most experience of those teams in the East. Buffalo and Philly ended long droughts, and then Montreal got a little bit of a taste of it last year, although they were out pretty quickly. So, Carolina has the most experienced team. I think that the same thing for them is going to be what's been true in all these recent years. Do they have enough depth of scoring to score enough to win? They generally keep the goal total down. And that goes hand in hand with the other big question to me, which is the goaltending, which has been phenomenal so far from Freddie Anderson, which is interesting to me because, he had a goals against of more than 3 in the regular season. For most of the year, a lot of the year, Brandon Busser, who came out of nowhere, was their goalie. To me, that's the thing that's just so interesting as you look at the 8 teams that are left. I mean, who has the best goalie? And we talk all the time about goaltending being the most important thing. It's like having a quarterback in football. A lot of these guys who are manning the nets, the rest of these games are not household names, and it wouldn't surprise me if any of them, started to wobble all of a sudden, which could be a great equalizer.
Yes, good point. I was surprised that Montreal was able to win 3 times on the road in that series, and where you're going to be for Game 3 and Game 4. Is that the best atmosphere and environment in Montreal?
Yeah, I think so. I was going to say it's not even close, but it is close because, there are other great atmospheres in the league, including Buffalo. That place has been going crazy in the Bruins series, and I'm sure it will be again tonight. They might be the 2 most raucous buildings left, but, anywhere these games are being played now, the fan bases are completely into it. And, it's hard to be much louder than any of these places are. I mean, you guys are familiar with Vegas. That's obviously been one of the loudest rinks in the league, if not the loudest since they came into the NHL. So, but it's one of the things I love about the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's really no such thing as home ice advantage anymore. I mean, here in Boston, the Bruins fans are talking about why can't they win a home playoff game? They've lost 6 home playoff games in a row. So, I think that's one of the parts of it that's great. It's nice to have the crowd behind you, but being on home ice is definitely no guarantee of victory, that's for sure.
Well, you're right about the goaltending, and also I would think special teams could play a big role here. Are you surprised how many penalties they've been calling?
Yeah, it seems to be some games more than others, some officials more than others, especially since in a couple of them, I didn't think some of the penalties that were being called were all that egregious. I generally think the officiating in the NHL has been excellent, and I'm not reluctant to talk about it when it isn't. And we've talked about officiating very little in the 5 years now that I've been involved back calling the NHL. And because, more often than not, they're really not a part of the story. But there have definitely been a couple of games where the penalty count's been high.
Yes.
Well, this series...
Then they show the replay, right? And they look like penalties. It has been infrequent when they showed a replay. We said, "Oh, that's really not a penalty." Now, maybe it's something that they could let go, but obviously in those instances, they've chosen not to.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about like falling off my couch stunned, but I would be at least mildly surprised if this series beginning tonight doesn't go at least 6-7 games. Would you agree with that?
I definitely would. I think they're 2 evenly matched teams. I agree with what was just said. I think special teams are important. They're always important. But Buffalo needs to find a way to get their power play going because, against a team like Boston that struggles to score, they didn't have to score a lot, particularly once they changed goaltenders to put Lyon in, and he was terrific after he really changed the series. I mean, they gave up 7 goals in the first 2 games with the other goalie playing. They put Lyon in. I think Boston had 5 goals in the other 4 games after he came in. So, and to me, it's what we're talking about, right? He's been impressive, but he's 33 years old. He started, I believe, 7 playoff games in his career. He wasn't the starter for a lot of the year. So, would it surprise anybody if he didn't play as well, especially against a team like Montreal with more firepower? I think the other thing that works against Buffalo is they're the worst face-off team in the league. And you keep giving a team like Montreal with some firepower, possession of the puck right off the draw. That's another big advantage for the Habs.
Good point. We don't get to talk enough. Certainly you have an unbelievable career, and no matter the sport, you're top-notch. Do you have something that you're most proud of throughout your career?
I appreciate the question. I guess, I was proud when I got the chance to do the World Series for CBS when I was 30 back in 1992. At the time, I was the youngest person, play-by-play person to do the national broadcast of the World Series. And then, I kind of persevered, had a lot of great assignments, but to come back at age 60 and have the chance to do the Stanley Cup final, you never know if you're going to get another opportunity like that. And, I guess I'm just proud that I worked hard on every assignment that I ever had to hopefully earn the opportunity to do, another marquee event like this. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I mean, I think it's been widely said, and I think it's true. Hockey's never been better. Mm-hmm. The NHL's never been better. The ratings are through the roof.
Yes.
The attendance is up year after year now. And, the game itself is just captivating, which is why more and more people are watching it.
Yeah. I love listening to games that you're on. Do you have a favorite sport? Or are they all just like razor thin there?
Yeah, it's razor thin. People ask me what sport you like doing the most. I've had the chance to do 11 sports on national TV, and I've enjoyed all of them.
11?
It probably depends on what season it is. But I think the thing I appreciate most about my situation right now is I'm really doing the 2 sports that I enjoy the most, college football and hockey. If you said to me, you can only do 2, these would be the 2 that I'd pick. So blessed to have a chance to do both of them, and especially at this time of the year. There's nothing better than playoff hockey.
Can you name 11 sports on national TV?
Yeah.
What? Give me some of the fringe ones.
Do we have a quiz? You guys want to guess?
Like boxing?
No. Well, the 4 that would be considered major, although now soccer's major, right? Now I'm gonna have to remember. So soccer would be 5, golf 6, tennis 7, lacrosse 8, bobsled and luge in the Olympics. 9 and 10, and the Boston Marathon would be 11.
That's absolutely incredible.
Nailed it.
Wow.
All right.
Jeez.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
I just feel blessed, right? I mean, I grew up wanting to do this, follow my dad around, and, dreaming someday of having a chance to do any of those things. And, to have had a chance to do all of them, I'm just grateful beyond measure. Wake up every day and thank God for the life that he's given me, because it's a dream come true. It really is.
Very cool. And again, you're going to be on games 3 and 4 up in Montreal between the Canadiens and the Sabres. Game 3 is going to be on Sunday.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, we were up there last year for the Four Nations face-off. It's the best building in the league. It's the most passionate fan base. The atmosphere is great in all these places, but Montreal is unique and really special, and I can't wait to get up there.
Yeah, can't wait to watch and listen as well. Sean, that was awesome. Thanks so much for the time. Have great calls this weekend.
Thank you, my friends. As I said, always great to be with you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sean McDonough.
Brought to you by Francetic Tax Resolution. Most important for anyone who bets, it's books, casinos, poker. Those winnings can create tax issues if they're not handled properly. Paul Francetic has helped gamblers resolve those problems for over 20 years, and right now he's offering a free gambler tax problem consultation, 262-752-6992, or visit GamblerTaxHelp.com. GamblerTaxHelp.com. Paul Francetic.
When he said 11, I was like, I think I can get to 8, maybe 9.
I'm thinking darts then or something.
Sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, win, lose next, and we'll discuss some prediction markets. I ran this by someone who has been in the entertainment industry for a long time. You won't believe his response. Coming up next.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
The magic continues with the Cubbies. 13 wins in a row. Trying to tie the longest home winning streak in 90 years if they win today. The Rays did it again. They won 3-0. They're on a 12-1 under run. 13 games in a row, they've allowed 3 runs or fewer. Where is this coming from? What a story. They don't give up any runs. Starters are great, winning games. Yankees can't run away. 12-1 under run. They're winning games, and the pitching's been fantastic.
So my question is, at what point do we actually say this might be for real?
I think it is.
June 1st?
Yeah.
Or you think it is already?
I think it is. Plus the rest of all these injuries and the rest of the AL down.
I will throw this out, Paulie. If you wipe away last year, was a down year for the Rays? Weren't they like a player or an organization that we thought was like maybe the best organization in all of baseball for like 5 years running?
Yep. Big lead today. Pages goes deep twice. But yesterday, the Astros beat Ohtani, and they cashed plus 180. He made 2 mistakes, and that was the difference in the game. And this Dodger offense has got to snap out of it on a regular basis.
Oh, they do when he's not pitching.
That's
so.
right. Most strikeouts, Sanchez plus 750 with the daily specials. Most runs, Twins 18-1. Highest scoring game, Padres Giants 15-1. Most assists last night, most points, LeBron 7-1. Most assists, Smart 50-1 in the Laker game.
Wow.
And the Pistons snap a 12-game playoff losing streak to the Cavs. They won game 1 of a series for the first time in 20 years. Huge for Detroit. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. This is a great tweet. Guy showing the old AC from a hotel, or what the old AC looked like. 2 temps, Antarctica and Bahamas. And when you put that sucker on, you can't hear the TV. That thing's bringing it. Remember those things?
Oh, of course.
I mean, I forgot. That's a great tweet about how it is, just how loud the damn thing would be. The good old days.
I was sick for 3 days after staying at a hotel the year that I went to the Final Four in San Antonio many years ago. It's because of that unit.
Yeah?
My whole sinus completely screwed up for 3 days after I stayed there.
I bet. This is for you. Chris sent this in. Chris Todd. You mentioned when you had the baby that the dogs would always sit right by it and look at that thing.
Uh-huh.
That's a great picture from Chris Todd. How he had the kid, but the dog bonds with it right away.
They still do that bash all the time. Like they know when he's eating because if he accidentally drops anything on the floor, it's gone within 1 second.
Yep. Got to give this a run again today with the volume. Look at this guy. Six years old, waiting for the pup cup. And he's throwing a fit because the lady had to go back. She went back and she forgot something. He got there, he lined up 30 minutes early. This is his daily routine. He lined up early to get to Starbucks to get the pup cup. And he does this on a regular basis, but here it is for his birthday. And the lady, okay, very good, very good. But in any event, there's something wrong with the sound. In any event, the lady, you look at these people who put videos up of their dogs on Instagram. They got like 250,000 followers.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's nuts.
Sure. That's what they do for a living, by the way.
Yeah.
Because when you get that high with the count, I mean, people are going to be begging to work with you and like toss you money to like collaborate with them. So
lose some. This is why sports betting's so hard. Okay, that's enough, guys. Why sports betting's so hard. It was 5-4 PSG in Munich in the first leg. PSG scores right away, and they park the bus. That's it. Can you imagine what 1-0 paid? We're in the 86th minute. And
unfortunately, no.
Yeah, right. And they lead 6-4 on aggregate, too. So that also tied into it where, hey, they get the lead early, and Munich's got to play catch-up, but PSG doesn't have to score with the 2-goal lead and the 2-goal difference. Bad beats. The Reds blew it again in the 8th and lost. And this is Tim and Femi yesterday. Avalanche Wild under 6.5 for the second night in a row. An empty net goal with 5 seconds left to put it over. After what Marner did and Derek Stevens tweeted out right in front of him, you had that as well. And here's the guys on the air last night as it happened.
We will see if we get the over to hit it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna let the final seconds tick off.
Let's just see what happens.
I don't know what people have out there. I don't want to be. They're just gonna clear this puck. With 4 seconds to go.
No.
Unbelievable.
Yikes.
Man, there is nothing worse than hope if you have the under. I thought he was just clearing that puck. Glad I didn't say anything.
Yeah, it looked like I saw the same thing that you saw. I was like, I think he's just clearing it and like they're gonna win it. And nope, right into the old onion bag.
Wow.
5-2 Avalanche.
It's never under until it's over. 4.4 seconds to go. The over hits.
That was in the Vegas one to cover the puck line. I mean, for Marner that deep to do it and flip it all the way up and go down the length of the ice, incredible.
Well, plus I know people who were on the under last night and they gave up on it after the first period.
Well, yeah, right, 3
and
goals
then
right
to
away.
come back and then you're sweating it out like, oh my God, I might have. No, I don't.
Yep.
It's a loser.
Yep. I'm with Sean. That Gustafsson hadn't played since mid-April.
I know.
Boy, they're really behind you here. You have one tough game, and that's it for.
And by the way, it's
Worcester.
Colorado you're playing,
No
so
kidding. Sports calendar never stops. Sharp Plays covers it all. Winning for 15 straight years. They pull in info and numbers from sports bettors and great contacts across all sports and shift it right out and send it right out to the subscribers in real time. When they move, the books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel, respected, watch, feared. Start winning with them. SharpPlays.com.
So PSG scored in the 3rd minute.
Is that early?
Today, and I have over 1.5 goals.
Oh, no.
I guess I could have gotten involved. I didn't even look. I could have gotten involved to go for a middle there, but that's going to be a loser. That's fun. So I continue to be amazed at what you can find like on prediction markets. It's like the pop culture stuff. You can bet on what's going to be the number 1 show on Netflix this week or the number 2 show on Netflix. And by the way, when you Google that, like Netflix, you can find the ratings and how many views they have already. Like the number 1 show this week is Man on Fire season 1. The number 2 show right now is Should I Marry a Murderer?
I didn't like it.
That show?
Yeah.
Well, that's 67% right now to be the number 2 show on Netflix. And the only other show that's within range is Unchosen season 1. So.
Interesting story and quite the conundrum for the woman. But it's okay.
Okay. Did you watch Running Point yet?
I'm not on season 2 yet.
Okay, well, neither am I. Season 1, we watch it. It's a damn good show, and it's written well. And season 2 is doing quite well right now, but it's number 4 on Netflix. So I also you can bet on who's going to. Here's one example: who is going to host Saturday Night Live season 51, like throughout the entire year. And I have a buddy who has worked in the entertainment industry for a long time. He's piped in.
Yeah.
And so I sent him this market, and I said, "Might you know anything?"
Because is this the guy who repped Jason Sudeikis?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yep. So because like John Hamm is 1%, I'm like, okay. I mean, Hamm could come on, although by the time that SNL is going to start this year, the season 2 of Your Friends and Neighbors is going to be long gone, right? Because it's going to be out for 4 or 5 months. Sure. But I was hoping for some inside information. His response, word for word, quote, "I continue to find it utterly staggering that this is allowed to exist." End of quote. Not the response I was looking for. I was hoping, yes, I have it on good authority that Anne Hathaway is going to host. Why don't you grab some of her right now at 1%? Okay, I'll do that. But that was not the response.
Wow.
It's endless, though, what's available when you take a peek up there. Mm-hmm. And the mention markets for all these sporting events, too.
Announcers, yes. Next coach, what's going to happen with Vrabel? Will Donovan take the magic job? I mean, there's so much stuff up there.
Do you know that when I looked earlier today, because they have mentions for all the games, Mike Breen is on the Knicks game tonight. Like, why would he not be? They don't have Bang. At last check anyway, they don't have Bang up. And they'll put words or key phrases that are already like 98% that they'll make them. Like for him to say bang one time is probably hovering around 100%. But put it up there, make it available to bet on.
Put up double bang.
Sure.
He's done it 3 times in his career.
That's right. That should be up on every single Mike Breen game.
Totally agree.
And take a flyer in case it's a long number.
Totally with you. Absolutely. Boy, this is funny. This is high comedy.
I know.
5-4, now 1-0.
1-0.
Yep.
I have over 1.5 goals, PSG at minus 109.
Yep. 3 minutes left.
Yep.
5 minutes of added time.
Dead loser right in the eyes right now. Incredible. The exact opposite.
Yeah.
What do you think 1-0 was? I don't pay attention to correct score that often.
The total was 4.5?
Yes, it was.
I know. That's a good payday. Oh, man.
Well, here's the deal. Once they scored first.
Yep. That's the problem with aggregate.
Sure. They shut it down.
Yep.
All right. Up next, I would like to retract Paul Howard's apology. Does he concur? Find out next here on VSiN.